Michigan's 13th district, a.k.a. the Fightin' 13th. It's solidly blue. That means that the primary tomorrow will basically be the election. And that also means we have wasted our time with Shri Thanadar. I have been following Shri Thanadar professionally, as in I've been paid to follow this guy's career for his entire career. I was reporting in WDIV when he first ran for Local 4, and from there I was at stations where statewide politics was part of my purview. The dude is the least genuine human being you will ever meet. He was he was making appeals to MAGA when he first started, and far-right politics, because he thought that's where the momentum was. It didn't work out for him, and so he switched to being Bernie. Yeah, he's that fake. Now look, I don't care what you are in your heart of hearts, but Shri Thanadar basically bought his office. He was a rich guy coming into the race. See if this sounds familiar. Rich guy with fake hair, and not really fake, but ridiculous hair, who bought his way into the race, said whatever he felt he needed to say to get in office, and then basically appeased centrists. If you're a big Napoleonic era fan, he's like the British were in terms of their officers back in the day, where you could earn the title of an officer by some extraordinary act on the battlefield, or more normally, you just bought the position. That's what Shri Thanadar did. So essentially, in one of the bluest districts in the country, we have used it to send somebody who is already rich out to go try to take down the system that supports the rich. It is a disaster. But we have an opportunity to redeem ourselves coming right up. Why do I have going out up here? Oh no, what have I done? Oh, that'll work. Getting rid of this. Sorry, Bridge, Michigan. So here's the deal. I'm just going to go off the dome here for a moment. Here's the deal. We have 3 people in this race. That's a problem. Person 1, Shri Thanadar, the incumbent. He's a rich guy. He is a neoliberal. He is not what we need in the Democratic Party. He is not what we need in politics. He's not as bad as a Republican, let me be clear. Oh, God, I just did the Obama thing. Let me be clear. There. Nerded it up. He's not as bad as a Republican, but he's certainly no progressive. Other gal, Mary Waters. She's a Detroit city council person. She has a corruption scandal. She pled guilty to charges involving, basically corruption. It's not that interesting of a story. Basically, there was a pawn shop that was for sale, and she pled guilty to, I believe, using her position to affect that sale. Will it surprise you to hear that she's a bit of a centrist? Okay. Also not something we need. Because, again, whoever wins this primary is virtually guaranteed to win the election. This is Michigan's 13th district. This is a Democrat voting district. So who do we have to represent the progressives? My personal pick, and I definitely recommend that you support her, Shakira Hawkins. Shakira Lynn Hawkins says her lack of experience may be an asset in a 3-way race to represent Detroit in Congress. Pause. Lack of experience In elected office, maybe, but not in politics. The attorney for, or rather, not in activism, I suppose. You'll see in a moment. She was a public defender. The attorney for Detroit's law department and former director of a domestic violence shelter is challenging incumbent U.S. Representative Shri Thanadar, Democrat from Detroit, and City Council member Mary Waters in the August 6th Democratic primary. More eyes are on Water and Hawkins after former state senator Adam Hollier, a contender with a strong name recognition, fundraising, and an army of surrogates, was disqualified from the ballot. Hawkins has a short window left to raise her profile before early voting starts in July. Jumping down, because obviously this is later. The winner in August would become a clear favorite in the November general election, obviously. Hawkins is a Detroit native, East Side resident, and graduate of the University of Michigan, that's in Ann Arbor, and Detroit Mercy Law School. Guess where that is. Prior to her current role in the city's law department, she worked as a hearings officer for the Department of Appeals and Hearings. She was a public defender and also served as executive director of My Sister's Place, a domestic violence shelter. Hold on to your butts, because this is where she gets... this is a paragraph before she gets very, very interesting. Is it? Oh, never mind. They ask questions in a moment. She ran for a nonpartisan judge seat in Wayne County. Actually, none of this is the interesting. Here we go. So they're asking her questions. They ask her, how did you decide to run for Congress? She talks about seeing things as a criminal defense attorney that made her want to change the system of justice, which she found to be unjust. What are the policy... Here we go. Progressive catnip. What are the policy issues that are most important to you? What have you heard from voters as you've been campaigning? It's important that this is Hawkins speaking, it's important that we have strong voices in Congress because democracy is under attack. Thank you for acknowledging it. We cannot give fascism and authoritarianism a foothold in our government. True. I will be fighting just like I fought for the constitutional rights of my defendants. I want my son to enjoy the privileges of what it is to be American. And here we go. We need to address climate change and environmental justice. There's a need for legal reform. I'm in favor of reproductive freedom, and I think we need universal health care. Gang. If you are in favor of universal health care, cross your fingers and hope that Michigan's 13th district comes through for you tomorrow. I would like to be part of the solution when it comes to ending gun violence and bringing about common sense gun legislation. Bada boom. I also want to protect Medicaid and Social Security. There's also a need for reform in the area of disability rights. I don't have the attention the other candidates have. I do feel like I have a very strong grassroots support. That's not something we're going to see until Election Day, and I hope it's there. But I've been reaching out to community members. Those who are closest to the problems are closest to the solution. Ooh, what in the world? Okay, well, I suppose I'll leave it there then. Oh, it did load. Well, that's our gal, Shakira Hawkins. Another race with, in this case, national implications, but major implications for the people that are voting for her. It is a primary. Vote every time you are given the ability to vote. Take advantage of it. Every single time you have an option to say how your government should be run, take that option. If she wins tomorrow, that is one more vote for universal health care. Now look at your own state. Google your address and when the next election for anything is. And there is a chance that in that election is a vote for universal health care.